If you are a Nutshell customer today and you go to the engagement tab and you click chat, you will be presented with this screen here. And the way that this works is you are telling Nutshell your company's URL, and what's going to happen is it's going to crawl your site, learn about your content, learn about what it is that you sell, your contact information to train the bot and give you a preview of how it works. So for the sake of this demo, I'm a part of a little local flying club here. They fly some little Cessna airplanes and kind of a good little test case for us here. So I put in our website here. By the way, I'm working here in a brand new account. There's no smoke and mirrors here, so we're seeing this all live and at actual speed and how the experience would look like if you were doing this yourself. So what I'm presented with and what has happened here is Nutshell has crawled the website. It's learned about all the different pages on the site. It's interpreted it. It's used it to train a chatbot. And it's now previewing how that chatbot might look on our webpage. So this is this local flying club here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They do flight training and aircraft rental. And one of the things that they try to do on their site is to collect prospects who might be interested in flight training. So we're going to see how well this chatbot does in answering common questions. So usually the first thing people ask is, how long does it take to learn to fly? And as I said, the only training we've done here has been putting in the URL behind the site, and the Nutshell chatbot has answered here, and it says, okay, time it takes to learn to fly varies depending on your goals and schedule. Typically, it takes about 3 to 6 months, and it includes a link to, for some more information on flight training. So you can see without any additional work, we took the information on the site and used it to train the chatbot here. The final step in actually putting this on the website, because we're just kind of looking at a little bit of a preview here, I can continue through this process. Nutshell is going to give me a little snippet of JavaScript that I can use to put onto our website. Our team is happy to help with this snippet deployment. If you're using something like WordPress, you can use Nutshell's WordPress plugin to do all the heavy lifting here for you. And we have instructions on Squarespace and other tools on how to get this snippet onto your website to deploy the chatbot. But once I copy this and add it to my website, that's all I need to do to get started. So we're inside of Nutshell. If you look over here in the sidebar, we're in the engagement tab under chat setup. Very first control that you've got is the appearance of how the chat widget looks on your website. So of course you can see the collapsed version. What someone sees when they first land on your page. You can include a nudge to your visitors to sort of try and grab attention to the chatbot as a tool that they might want to interact with. And you can customize the look and feel and the widgets and all of the kind of lingo that your visitors are going to see when they first engage with it. But let's talk a little bit more about knowledge and what goes into the training of the bot here. So when I typed in our website, what Nutshell did behind the scenes was it went to our homepage, but also crawled additional web pages. So I can actually see all of the knowledge that the chatbot learned from our site. And actually point your attention to the bottom left here. What you'll see is that we've pulled together 17,000 words of content to train the chatbot. And our kind of general guidance is, maybe around 5,000 or 10,000 words is a good starting point to learn enough about your business, what you have to sell, how you go about selling it, how prospects should contact you. So we give you kind of a green bar here saying, you've got good information, you've got enough knowledge to make a good chatbot here. What you can see is these are all of the pages on the website that were crawled to provide information and training for the chatbot. So I can see that it crawled our contact page. Of course, the contact page has our phone number and it has, other ways of getting in touch with us, our address. And so now I know that the bot is going to use that information in its conversations, and I can fine tune that here. We support adding additional pages. So maybe we didn't get the most important page on your site, or you might have PDFs, maybe pricing catalogs or product catalogs that you want to be able, the bot to be able to answer questions to. You can upload PDFs just as easily here. We take those PDFs apart, we parse them, and we turn that into content that's used for the chatbot as well. Next, we're going to look at the intake process. So as you saw, when I began the conversation with the chatbot, it asked about my name and email address. So, our view on this is, it might be interesting to put a bot on your site that just kind of anonymously can answer those questions, but your website is probably doing that already. And so the bot is there trying to gather some information so that you can get back to the people who are chatting with you. So you'll see that you can include what fields you want to collect before the chatbot steps in and begins to answer questions. Maybe you want to collect phone number before the bot starts to respond. And you can fine tune those details as well as like sort of customize the opening message on what the bot first says when it asks for some information. Another key element here is, every single chat is aimed toward an objective. We're trying to create a booking, we're trying to get a form filled out, but it might just be that someone shows up, asks your bot a couple of questions, and then disappears into the ether. And we've seen this for ourselves. That's a common way that people will interact with a bot. They'll get their questions answered and they'll move on. And that's great. Maybe they got their question answered, but if you're a sales team, you probably want to try to get in touch with those folks. So what you can have Nutshell do here is to create a lead for each inbound chat. So if someone has a conversation with the bot and maybe they don't turn into a booking, you'll get a lead. You can choose which of your existing pipelines that lead is created in. As an example, for our team, those leads are assigned round robin amongst our sales team. So even if the bot gave a great answer, your sales team can follow up and make sure that they had their questions answered and that you're not leaving any leads behind. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about goals. So goals are a concept we use in a number of different places in Nutshell, in your sales process and elsewhere. And it's really just meant to say that chat is great, but you're really trying to get to a specific outcome here. And the goals that Nutshell Chat supports are connecting to Scheduler. So what I can do is I can say I want to nudge my visitors to schedule a meeting with Scheduler. And from here, I can choose a dropdown of all of my team's existing Scheduler entries. So maybe I'm a team of one and I just have a single person with a Scheduler link. That's great. Maybe you have a Scheduler link that's sort of assigning bookings round robin. Scheduler supports that kind of capability. So you can sort of maximize the availability on your website of when bookings are available. And if you've connected the chatbot to your scheduler, it will suggest that as sort of one outcome for your conversations. You can also connect one of your existing Nutshell forms to the chatbot. Maybe you have just a typical contact form. Maybe you're a business that collects some additional information for quoting and you collect different custom fields, or maybe you collect something like budget or otherwise. If you've already put that form together on the information that you want to collect from your prospects to kind of get them into your sales process, you can choose that form that might already exist on your site, and the bot will turn that into sort of a chat-friendly form experience here. And then finally, when we think about outcomes, I think we all know this, there are going to be visitors who just want to speak to a human, and the chatbot isn't enough there. So we have, what is going to happen when a visitor asks to speak to a human. So first, if your team is online and sitting inside of Nutshell and able to chat, you can actually hand off those conversations to your team, and they'll be, distributed round robin, or you could assign them all to a specific user so that you can actually step in and continue those conversations where someone might not want to talk to the bot. Or if your team isn't sitting in Nutshell all day and you want to be able to make sure you have a good response here, you can set up an offline message and an offline form. So when someone asks to speak to your team, they'll say, hey, we're not available, give us some information and we'll get back to you quickly. That experience is customizable here in the chat as well. And the last thing I'm going to share here is some of the specific tuning around the bot itself and how it answers questions and the sort of look and feel of that. I have the bot set to respond all the time. It's going to step in before our team does, but you can also set it to only respond when your team is offline. And of course, this is something you can opt out of entirely. You get a little bit of customization on what it's called and what kind of icons you use, but you can also adjust how verbose and the kind of tone that the chatbot takes with your team to kind of match with your brand. Here, it's a little social flying club, so we've told it to adopt a friendly conversational tone and to provide pretty concise answers. I think it was Elena who asked about sort of some fine tuning for the bot. And so we talked about how you can add knowledge, maybe other pages or PDFs to the bot that might answer questions more effectively. But you can also give some guidance and also tell the bot to avoid certain topics here. But to show you where you can get started on actually taking a look at how your chatbot is performing, on the dashboard of the engagement tab, we have a new chatbot card here. And so what I can see is my total conversations over time. Fortunately, my demo here, I haven't been having a ton of ton of conversations so far, but on a daily or weekly basis, you can see the conversations that the chatbot is answering, and then ultimately measuring the leads that are being generated, the bookings that are being made, and the form submissions that are happening from those conversations.